Plymouth Argyle have had an amazing season, finishing first in League One, getting promoted to the Championship as champions. Now, Steven Schumacher's done an insane job with Plymouth, but I think I can do better. So today I'm taking charge of Plymouth Argyle, and by the end of this video I'll be making them the best team in the world. But as you probably guessed, there's a little catch. No transfers, no youth academy, no scouting system, I can only sign free agents. So this is the Plymouth Argyle team I've loaded into, and for a newly promoted team, this isn't a bad side. Obviously, we need to really improve it if we're going to stay in the Championship this year, but there are a couple of really good players, like striker Niall Ennis, new signing from Norwich Ballymumba, and their goalkeeper Michael Cooper, who I'm hoping to keep until the very end of this video. But whilst they have got a couple of strengths, they've got way more weaknesses. Some of their best players are currently on loan to them, and what makes it worse, because we're only allowed to sign free agents, we can't purchase a single one of them. And on top of that, some of our best players are currently our oldest players as well. So I've come to the conclusion that this Plymouth Argyle team needs a lot of work. And this may surprise you lot, I'm not going to change this formation. This formation got them promoted from League 1 to the Championship, so I'm going to leave it as it is. And our budget for Season 1 isn't actually that bad at all, 6 million to spend this year. But obviously that doesn't really matter all that much because we can only sign free agents anyway. And obviously because we're only signing free agents, I am going to release every single Youth Academy player in our Youth Academy development system, even Borja Lopez, who really could come in handy at some point. But I am going to make a rule about what kind of free agents I'm allowed to buy. Whilst I'm in the Championship, I can't sign free agents 74 overall or lower, so Carlos Acevedo is completely out of bounds right now. This way I can definitely improve the team enough to get promoted, but not make it too overpowered at the same time. So let's go to the free agents list to see who I can bring into this team. So my first signing is actually going to be Homam Ahmed. He's 22 years old, 68 overall. We've already got a pretty solid left wing back, so we'll just convert him to a right wing back. And our second signing is going to be Ignacio Riveros, who's 19 years old, 73 overall. He'll be a massive addition to that defence. And moving on from the defence for now, I'm going for Hungarian midfielder Zsolt Kalmar, who's 27 years old and 74 overall. And looking at the team right now, we've already massively improved it with those three signings. But looking at the budget, we've only got maybe one signing left in us, so we've got to make it count. And that's exactly what I'm going to do by bringing in Jakub Brabak, who's 74 overall at 29 years old. And he was definitely our last signing, as we've only got 843,000 left to spend. But that's not the end of our transfer window just yet. I am putting all of these players up for a loan because whilst they've got high potential, they won't get game time. So at least when they're out on loan, they'll improve and then they'll come back a much better player. But with that, our transfer window's done, and this is the Plymouth Argyle team going into the Championship. And believe me, I'm not blind to the fact that this team for the Championship is pretty weak. So in all honesty, my only hope for Season 1 is that we survive the Championship. Well, we just arrived in June at the end of our first season in the Championship, and we're 16th after 46 games. I think we've done pretty well to do that. And as you can see, we were a good 12 points above the drop zone. We were very comfortable in the end. And honestly, this team has improved a lot more than I actually thought they would. We may potentially have a good shot at the playoffs next year. And just look at the improvement from some of our loan players out, man. It was definitely the right call to send them out on loan. And to be fair, the stats aren't that bad at all. Ryan Order with 19 and 8, 13 and 8 for Finn Azaz, and 11 and 10 for our new signing, Zsolt Kalmar. All in all, we did exactly what we wanted to do, and that was survive the Championship for our first season in it. But I think, having seen the team now, we are definitely ready next year to push for the playoffs, providing we can find the free agents that will improve the team. But before we go any further, if you enjoyed the video so far, leave it a big old thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We are now heading into Season 2 with Plymouth Argyle after a relatively good Season 1 with them. And as you can see, there's no more players currently on loan to us, meaning that everybody in this team now is our player. And after looking at the team, I know exactly where we need to improve it to try and push for promotion. We definitely need a better winger than Myra. He's 32 years old now, and he's going to dwindle in overall like mad this year. On top of that, we could do with a midfielder, a centre-back, and potentially a better striker than Argyle. But obviously, when it comes to free agents, you kind of get what you're given. But this time, we got more than double our previous budget, 13 million to spend in Season 2. But remember, because we're still in the Championship, we can only purchase players who are 74 overall or below. But we're starting this transfer window very well by signing Spanish centre-back Fabian Carrasco, who's only 21 years old and 74 overall. And next up, we're signing an absolute legend of a striker, Radamel Falcao, who's 37 years old and 74 overall. I know that he's getting on a bit now, but I could not pass this opportunity up. And I've managed to find a pretty solid winger as well, Chilean Bruno Barcicciotto, who's 70 overall and 22 years old. I've definitely butchered that name as well, but that is a mouthful, so let me have that one at least. And after only 3 signings, we've massively improved this team already. But we still got just under 10 million to spend. I'd be daft to stop here. And I'm really glad I didn't stop there, because I finally found a midfielder, Tony Moy. He's 25 years old, 73 overall. I then also found Paul Dummett, who's 31 years old and 73 overall. Robert Bauer, who's 28 years old and 71 overall. And finally, Kevin Malky at 31 years old and 74 overall. He'll go straight into our defense. And with us only having 4 million left, that's our transfer window done. But before I show you our team, I just want to show you some of the players that I've purposely not signed because of that rule. Dragutin Jovanovic, who I'm assuming is Modric's regen. Andrea Bellotti, the absolute legend, and Giorgio Chiellini. And finally, ex-Real Madrid player Nacho Fernandez. I'm absolutely gutted I couldn't sign these players. But ultimately, it doesn't matter, because this is the starting 11 that's going to go into our second season in the Championship. And obviously the formation does look a bit wacky, but that's just to fit Calvin Malcut into the team. But from last year to now, this squad has massively improved, and I'm not just talking about the players I brought in this year. 74 overall Mumba, 75 overall Michael Cooper, and finally 76 overall Riveros. These boys have potential to be our endgame players. But last season we had a very respectable finish in the Championship, finishing 16th. This year, however, I want to push for a playoff position. Failing that, I want to be damn close to it. Well, boys, we've just reached June and we've bloody done it. We're in the playoffs alongside Burnley, Middlesbrough and Preston North End. Are we going to get Plymouth into the Premier League in only our second season in charge? Well, we're on the right path, as we've slapped Burnley 6-4 on aggregate in the semis, and we're playing Preston in the final. We are at a disadvantage as Riveros is suspended for this game. We've got to get past it though. We're at Wembley. Who's going to get promoted? Ourselves. It's going to be Plymouth Argyle. Whittaker in the 87th minute, putting the nail in the coffin for Preston North End, and we are in the Premier League next year. I know we've got a long way to go, but we have massively improved the squad in only 2 seasons. And Christ, these stats are good. Bruno at 21-7, 15-7 for Morgan Whittaker, 14-1 for Ryan Hardy, 13-13 for Zolt Kalmar, and 11-1 for Falcao. Our first 2 seasons in charge of Plymouth have been incredible. We kept them up comfortably in season 1, and now we've got them promoted via the playoffs. But now comes our biggest challenge so far, keeping the boys in the toughest league in the world, the Premier League. We are now entering season 3 and entering our first season in the Premier League with Plymouth Argyle. But if we want to keep them there, we definitely need to improve certain areas of our team. We definitely need a better striker than Falcao. He's an absolute legend, but he's not good enough anymore for the Prem. On top of that, we could do with a fullback for Malcut and a couple more decent defenders. And obviously now, because we're in the Premier League, we're not restricted on who we're allowed to buy anymore, so we can literally sign anyone we want. And it looks like we can sign as many players as we want as well, as we've got 37 million in our budget. And starting off, we've actually struck quite lucky with a fullback in Hans Heitbauer, who's 30 years old and 79 overall. We'll get about 2 or 3 good seasons out of him. And I've managed to find a pretty solid striker as well, Lautaro Diaz. He's only 26 years old and he's 76 overall. And just look who I found, Brazilian Cam Oscar, 32 years old, 79 overall. What an absolute legend this guy is. And to be fair, we've already really improved this team, but I don't think it's quite strong enough yet to survive the Prem. I still think we need a couple of defenders to actually stand a chance of surviving. And boys, we have just hit the jackpot. Guillermo Castillo, he's 18 years old and already 78 overall. I've also found another decent cam, Shoya Nakajima, who's 29 years old and 76 overall too. And our last transfer of this window, centre midfielder Carol Eating, 26 years old and 75 overall. I genuinely can't find anybody else. And now the team looks like this heading into our first season in the Prem. Now obviously Whittaker is 73 overall, but he's only 23 years old as well, and I've got quite a lot of faith that this guy can improve quite well. And I'm not blind to the fact we are definitely in contention for relegation. I just want to survive the Prem. I think any expectations more than that is just complete delusion. Well, we've reached the end of yet another season with Plymouth, and we finished 11th in the league, man. That is absolutely mint for our first season in the Prem. Looking at the team though, obviously there's room for improvement, but I can definitely see why we've done so well. And 2 players really did the heavy lifting this year. Bruno with 24-4 and 15-4 for our new striker Lautaro Diaz. I honestly could not be more chuffed. I thought we'd just scrape survival, finishing 17th or 16th, but 11th in the league is bloody outstanding. But we have to try our best to improve on this next year, because if we finish any lower than 11th, we haven't progressed, we've just gone backwards. We're now going into season 4 with Plymouth, and looking at the team, there's only a couple of areas we need to actually improve. We need a better centre back than Carrasco and full back than Mumba. They're the weakest links in that defensive lineup, and if we want to do better than last year this season, we do need to sort that out. Then we need a couple more midfielders, a new winger as well, and then potentially a new striker. So pretty much half the team needs sorting out. And once again, we've got a pretty tidy budget to do it with, 34 million in season 4. And almost straight away, we found a short-term solution to our defensive problems. Centre-back Shea Muller is 33 years old and 82 overall. And I may have potentially found our future goalkeeper, Charles Durand, 18 years old, 75 overall. Cooper's our first choice right now, but I'm definitely sending this guy out on loan. And let me tell you, I've just hit the jackpot. Tony Mosquera, Jordi Alba's regen, 18 years old, 83 overall. Our defensive problems are basically sorted out for now. And looking at the team now, even if I made no more transfers this window, I'd be pretty happy sending this team into season 4. But we've got 30 million to spend and we've only made 3 signings, so I'm nowhere near done yet. We still need to improve our midfield and get ourselves a new winger as well. And as luck would have it, I found a pretty solid winger, Kaide Gordon, who's only 20 years old and 74 overall. And I've managed to find a pretty solid midfielder, Daniel Bollocker, who's 26 years old and 78 overall as well. He'll go straight into the starting 11. But I've just found our starting 11 winger, Marco Asensio, 29 years old, 83 overall. I think I'm going to send Kaide Gordon out on loan because he's going straight into the starting 11. And with that, our transfer window's done, and this is the Plymouth side going into season 4. And honestly, with this defense alone, I'm very confident going into this season. And we're not even mentioning Marco Asensio in a Plymouth Argyle shirt. That's something I never thought I'd see. If last year we finished 11th, this team should absolutely get a top 10 finish. Well, we've just arrived in June and we've done better than last year, 9th in the league at the end of this season, and to make it even better, we finished above the bottle jobs. Man, the improvements in this team this year, a couple of really good signings for season 5, and we're definitely getting European football. And our front three really showed up this year. Bruno with 25 and 9, 16 and 3 for Lautaro Diaz, and 15 and 6 for new signing Marco Asensio. Every season, this Plymouth side surpasses its previous achievements and just continues to get better and better. And fingers crossed for next year that we can get the right signings in to improve the team where it needs to be improved so that we can get European football. We're now into season 5 with Plymouth, and if we want to get European football next year, there's only a couple of areas of this squad we need to improve. We need a better centre-back than Shea Muller. He did amazing for us last year, but now he's dwindling in overall and he needs replacing. On top of that, we need new midfielders, and to be fair, we could do with a better striker. Obviously, Hatebauer is getting on a bit now, but he's 81 overall. He'll do for at least one more season. But I'm telling you, once we sort those positions out, we should get European football for next season. And the board's definitely backing us this year with 43 million to spend on free agents. And we finally found a decent midfielder, Luis Chavez, 30 years old, 80 overall, an absolute free agent legend, and he's going straight into our team. And I found another midfielder as well, Tommy Doyle. He's 24 years old, 79 overall. He's not the best, but I've got very high hopes for him. And I found yet another great midfielder, Nabil Fekir. He's 32 years old, granted, but he's 84 overall. He'll definitely improve our chances against European football. And I'm so happy we finally sorted this midfield out for the time being. But we still need a better centre-back and a striker, man. We can't continue this season without sorting those positions out. And boys, I finally found the answer to our defensive problem. Edson Castro, 19 years old, 83 overall already. He's someone's regen. I don't know who it is, but I know he's bloody good. And as well as signing Edson Castro, I also signed Christian Eriksen and Jeremy Collin, who I've got very high hopes to become our new first choice striker. And in case you're wondering, I've loaned Jeremy Collin out for 2 years because right now he won't get game time over Diaz, even though eventually he will be a far better player. But that's our window done, which leaves the team looking like this going into season 5. And I'll be real with you guys, I think we are in for a very, very good season ahead. There's literally not one weakness in that starting 11 now. It's come a long way since season 1. And you guys already know what I want to achieve this year. European football, whether that be the Conference League, Europa League, or the Champions League, I don't care. We've just arrived in June, boys, and we've taken a fat L here. We're 9th in the league at the end of this season. That's exactly where we finished last year, if I'm not mistaken. And on top of that, the bloody ball jobs finished above us, man. That's just not right. How the hell does this team not get European football next year, man? I'm really struggling to understand where we're going wrong. The good news is, though, our 3 players out on loan are improving. Colin 81 rated, Durand 82 rated, and Gordon 78 rated. And 2 players carried us this year. Diaz with 21 and 8 and 12 and 5 for Nabil Fekir. It's been a poor season from us. We've improved the team massive amounts, but we still finished exactly where we did last year. I'm just hoping that this is a one-off and we can get back to improving next year. We're now entering season 6 after a very, very lackluster year of football. Now, looking at the squad, you would assume this is a European team, but we're not quite there yet, so we do need to make some improvements. Starting with Hans Bauer, it's bound to happen at some point. He's dropping an overall, and we need to sort that out. On top of that, we could do with getting better midfielders, and we need to sort out a striker. Now, obviously, Jeremy Colin is out on loan, but I don't want to call him back yet because he's the same overall as Diaz, and I feel like if he doesn't get the game time, he just won't improve. But once we sort those positions out, there's literally no excuse why we can't get top 6 football at least this year. And once again, the board are loving us. £60 million to spend this year. Now, we found a pretty decent midfielder in Albert Grombeek. He's 26 years old, 81 overall, and I know I butchered the name. You don't need to tell me. And guess who I've just found? Marco Bulat, 25 years old, 80 overall. If you guys watch one of my previous videos, you know what a beast this guy turns into. And I found a short-term solution to our fullback problem. Emerson Royale, 28 years old, 80 overall. He's actually come quite good in real life as well. And so far, we have done pretty well with the signings, but I don't think we should stop here. And believe me, I am beyond glad I did not stop there, as I found Milenko Nezovic, who's 20 years old and 84 overall already. I'm definitely converting him to a cam. It will take 20 weeks to convert him to a cam, but I think it's worth the wait, to be honest, don't you? And it just doesn't stop, boys. Aitor Barrios, 21 years old, 81 overall already, boys. I'm finding players left, right, and centre. And I'm going to wrap the transfer window up by signing Adriano Garcia, who's only 19 years old, 78 overall. I'm hoping that this guy will take over Emerson Royale at some point. And now the team looks like this going into season 6. The only thing we couldn't do was bring in a better striker for Diaz. But Jeremy Collins still is out on loan to Hellas Verona, so next year, hopefully, he'll come back a better player and just take Diaz's spot. Now, last year, we had a very disappointing season, only finishing 9th in the league. This year, however, no exceptions, we need to get European football. Well, we've just arrived at the end of yet another season, and you ain't gonna believe this. We've won the Premier League this year, man. I knew we were gonna get something good, but I did not expect us to win the title. Boys, we've beaten Man City, Liverpool, and United to that top spot, man. That's just nuts. And we finally won the FA Cup after beating the Bottle Jobs 3-2 in the final. And looking at the team, it's easy to see how we've done it. We've turned this squad into an absolute monster this year. And a lot of people have got on the score sheet this time. 31-6 for Diaz, 17-7 for Marco Asensio, 17-6 for Bruno, and 15-8 for Milenko Nezovic. From a very poor performance last year to the best we've ever done with Plymouth this year, I mean, that's a turnaround in half, isn't it? But we've glossed over something massive that we've done this season. That's the fact that we are now in the Champions League next year. So fingers crossed we can find some insanely good players and we can have a really good crack at the Champions League. We're now entering season 7 with Plymouth, and taking a quick look at that team, I really don't see how we can improve it. I honestly think our course of action this season is to bring in players just for squad depth. Obviously, I'll be looking for players with starting 11 quality, but it's very unlikely that I'll find any. And not that it matters, but we've got 130 million to spend in season 7. Now, the player I'm about to sign, I purposely avoided because I've used him before. Kevin De Bruyne, 37 years old, 80 overall. I mean, he'll do for squad depth. I'm also signing Samuel Berendell, who's 28 years old and 80 overall. Emmanuel Agbadou, who's 31 years old and 80 overall. And finally, Danny Ceballos, 31 years old and 81 overall. And that's going to be our transfer window done because, as you can see, there's not really any player I'm seeing that can go into our starting 11 or even our subs bench, for God's sake. So the team you're looking at now is the team that's going to head into this season. And I'll be real, this is one of the most disgusting teams I've ever created, man. I feel so dirty using a 5 at the back formation. Put it this way, if last year we can win the double, there's no reason this season why we can't win the treble. And we've got an early opportunity to show dominance is win the FA Community Shield final against Man City. And I honestly think we're going to smash the... Oh, wow. Okay. Consider me humbled. But moving on from that, we're of course in the Champions League. We're in Group A alongside French giants PSG, Athletic Bilbao and Celtic. And in fairness, that is a pretty difficult group, but that does not mean I don't want to top it. Well, boys, we've just reached January and we're 4th in the league so far this season. I'm not happy about this. We're 9 points behind Manchester City. I want that title once again. And whilst we didn't manage to top Group A, we did finish 2nd, meaning we are into the round of 16 anyway. But to be fair, I did expect better stats. 12 and 4 4 for Bruno, 10 and 6 for Malenko, 8 and 3 for Jeremy Collin, and 6 and 10 for Marco Asensio. And I did everything I wanted to do in September, so this is the starting 11 that's going to go into the knockouts. And if I'm being honest, even if I wanted to bring any free agents into this team, I don't think I could find any that are good enough to come into the team. For example, out of the 4 players I brought in September, only 2 of them even made the subs bench. I honestly see us going all the way, man. This team is too goddamn good not to. And after just getting past Milan in the round of 16 and just getting past Real Madrid in the quarters, we are in the semi-final. And in that semi-final, we face German giants Borussia Dortmund, and taking a quick look at their team, it's no wonder they're in the semis. That team is ridiculous. And on top of that, our centre midfielder Nezovic is out suspended for the first leg, so it's all in the air. It's all open. Who knows what the oh, we still get a result, 2-1 in the first leg for us, and it goes to the second with us having the advantage. We've got our strongest team back in action for the second leg, as well as being up 2-1. I genuinely can't see Dortmund knocking us out from this position, man. And there we go. 2-1 in both legs to us. We are in the final, and I've got to say, I'm not surprised. And it will be Manchester City that we're facing in the final. But ultimately, we fell short in the Premier League, second in the league after winning the title last year. We were 14 points behind our opponents in the Champions League final, for God's sake. They beat us to the Community Shield trophy. Now they beat us to the Premier League trophy. They ain't going to beat us to that Champions League trophy. And these stats are genuinely insane. 24 and 7 for Bruno, 19 and 10 for Malenko, 19 and 5 for Lautaro Diaz, 16 and 16 for Marco Asensio, and 12 and 5 for Jeremy Collin. But looking at the team, I'm really not surprised we made it to the final. It is so goddamn good. The only issue I take with it is we've only got 3 players in the starting 11 that are real. The rest are just regens. I really wish we'd have found more real players. But then again, looking at the team and how good it is, I really can't be complaining. Now, normally I'd just sit back and watch the boys take care of business, but I've got a personal vendetta with Man City. They beat us to win the Community Shield final. They beat us to the Premier League title. There ain't no way I'm letting them beat us to win that Champions League. Foden is going to look for Haaland in the middle of the park. I don't like this. Foden has found Haaland. Oh, what a save. Barrios is on the ball now. He's pushing forward. Furt is trying to push onto. Oh, he's got a bit of room. He's taking a... Oh! That is one of the sickest goals I think I've ever scored on this game. Quite literally halfway through the pitch. As a pot from distance, Edison no chance, in off the bar. I don't care who you are, you ain't saving that. And if that's the only goal in this game, I'd be happy with that. That is a Champions League winning goal. Oh no, Haaland's in behind. Haaland's in behind. We're taking the keeper out. Oh, we've done enough. Okay, Manchester City are beginning to turn the gas on. They know that they're 1-0 down, and they know they need a goal as soon as possible. Haaland with the shot. Another fantastic save from our keeper. And yet another corner from Manchester City. This time they're going in the box. Head that away. And get... Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, you gotta be kidding. That's such a sloppy goal to concede. Man City are playing really well to start their second half. Illinois on the ball. He's taking a pop. Once again, forces a save from our keeper. Him and our keeper are having a mini war with each other, aren't they? Okay, we got a chance here. Diaz is on the ball. We're going to give it back to Mosquera. Mosquera has still got the ball somehow. Inside.
Nope.
First shot. Oh, no! Of all the places to hit it, he hit it straight down his throat. Manchester City are proving to be an absolute nightmare to get past, man. No wonder we lost the title in the FA Community Shield final to him. You can't let him do you like that. He's found Haaland. Okay, this is bad. This is really bad. Oh, my God. Duran, man.
Denied.
Oh, my God. Another save from our keeper, man. He's been our man of the match so far, and it's not even close. Erling Haaland, he's had another shot, and again, Duran just isn't letting the big Norwegian get past him, is he? Do you reckon he's had a bet on himself? 10-1, Erling Haaland won't frigging score past me. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, my God. Durand is an absolute menace in between the sticks. It's gone over extra time now, boys. Surely this has got to be the last kick of the 90 minutes. Come on, just clear it. Blow the goddamn whistle, ref. It's now 4 minutes after extra time. Just get rid of the goddamn... Thank you. Oh, my days. If we'd have conceded there, I would have absolutely flipped my shit. But I am going to make some changes. Gordon is going to come on for Bruno, and Collin is going to come on for Diaz. Collin, I wanted him to be our starting 11 striker from the get-go, so he's getting his chance in the final. Man City are pushing forward. Florian... Oh, no, Erling Haaland to be... Oh, my days. Durand is not letting Haaland score past him, is he? This has got a penalty shootout written all over it. Manchester City can't get past Durand, but we can't get past the halfway line. When we get the ball back, we need players to make runs, for God's sake. We're just going forward, hitting the halfway line, and then getting stopped. Oh, no, Erling Haaland. Oh, my, nope. No way. Oh, my God. Durand is an absolute, oh my, he's the best keeper I've ever used on this game, and it's not even close. We've got a chance. Oh my God, we've got a chance. Oh my God, there's no way. Oh boys, that was it. That was the chance to win the game. And this is surely going to be the last kick of the game, man. It's extra time. Sure, unless we win the end. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I thought we were going to have one last chance. But I did call it early in the game. It's going to penalties. We're up versus Nezovic to take the corner. We're going to go top left in the hopes that Edison doesn't. We send him the wrong way. Great start. Haaland to take it next. We're going to go top left. Oh, he's finally got a goal past Durand to go down the middle. Oh, my days. The roof of the net, never saving that. Gomez, okay, he's going right. Oh, Durand has gone the right way both times so far. I absolutely love Durand. This time we're going to go to the left. Boys, we're 3-1 up on penalties, man. Manchester City, okay. Durand, we're going to go to the right. Oh my God, Durand. It's not me. It's all Durand. Durand is an absolute menace. I'm pretty certain if we score this, we win the game and we win the Champions League. Mosquera, top, left, bins, and I believe, is that it? That's it, boys. Oh my God. We have absolutely no right to have won that Champions League. Man City absolutely annihilated us, but in the end, Durand, honestly, Durand is the best goalkeeper I've ever used on career mode. Point blank, better than anyone. And boys, it has taken us 7 long seasons to do it, but we've done it. We have won the Champions League with Plymouth Arygle, only using free agents once again. And if you're still here, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that though, you should definitely click somewhere here to watch me do this with QPR.